Gundam.tk presents Legend Gundam. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2B's GundamReviews.net, and I'm happy to have you here as I continue my look at some of the older bad guys, and particularly here, it's the non-grade 1/100th Legend Gundam from Gundam Seed Destiny, the successor to the Providence Gundam you see there. 2006 release for this kid, meaning it's not that old and one of the last 1/100ths to come out before the 00 line. Price of 2,600 Japanese yen. Here's the name bar and the pilot Rei Zaburl, and you can see up here that it's number 12 in the Seed Destiny 1/100th non-grade line. The 1/100th Seed line was quite popular in 1/100th form. It's only starting to get master grades now. Before it began to become Seed Destiny, and following up on Infinite Justice, you have the climax bad guy here, Legend, followed up by the Gold Frame Amatsu, whose review you can see, and after that it's just Savior and Green Frame and the Akatsuki. In terms of the climax to the anime, when you have Kira and Arthur teamed up in Freedom and Justice up against Rei and Shin in the Legend and Destiny, whatever you want to call Destiny, whether that's the good guy, bad guy, and Shin's status as a protagonist or antagonist, or whether it just changed halfway through, Rei is going to come across as being very villainous, and in terms of mobile suit pilots, he's got to be the one that's going to face off with the Strike Freedom on my shelf. The Destiny kids did something which is really nice. Here it says that it's painted to be in the same image as it is in the cover art, and you can see that the Legend is looking really good, very Providence-y. It's got that huge backpack, big V-fins, big shoulders, big legs, bulky overall, throw in a clear shield and a big beam rifle, and that's an impressive looking amount of armory. Here you can see that he's got the gun strapped onto the back there between the two. Basically the biggest difference here is that whereas Providence just had a big pizza pie in his back, this guy's got two halves cut in half. And in terms of some of the other weapons that they're going to feature, you get the clear beam shield, which is great. You can do the Darth Maul style beam sabers, as was the style at the time. The beam saber is going to fit down there on the sides of the legs, which is great. And you can also do all sorts of things that the Providence couldn't, as you can bend the two halves of the pizza in, and you can also throw them up over the shoulders, although you can imagine there's going to be nothing but weight issues with that. To the other side, where instead of one small image, they're actually going to give you a huge image, and every image on this side is unpainted, so you know what you're going to get right out of the box. And now you can see in here that there's lots of color applications, and it's looking pretty good, including the ability for the Dragoons to shoot off there. Hopefully they'll have an easy attachment mechanism. Everything's looking good except for the fact that no, you can't get yours to fly unless you set up an elaborate base for that to happen. You can see here that in addition to moving the pizza pies, you can also bring the Dragoons forward, which is going to be an okay pose. Here you can see that they've got 2-point bends there, and you've got movement points in the waist, which should work well. And whereas with old ones, you actually got a figure that you can paint up Warhammer style, here you're just going to be getting a character plate, they just call it. And basically you've got Rei Zaburl in his normal suit looking okay, and you've got some pilot information there. Everything's written in English. And then you're going to have this story and some anime scenes about the legendary Legend Gundam. You may have seen this before with some Gundam plastic models, but here the top of the box is going to be smaller than the actual bottom, and that's because this is just printed off as normal. But the bottom, it says down there that for its first issue, you're going to have a limited edition special thing here, and basically they're going to throw in a special base, which we're all much more familiar with now, as just the regular action base that you can pick up in retail, but you couldn't at this time. And on the back, every once in a while they have some black and white images, but here they've got some nice color ones. And what they're doing is, in addition to showing off that very familiar action base and the Legend looking good on top of it, it's also going to come with custom parts, so you can attach this to the 1/100th Destiny non-grade and the Strike Freedom, so you can put any of the big three up there. No mention of Infinite Justice, and look at that, they've got a new show out called Stargazer. To open up the box and ignore that extra centimeter there on the bottom, you're going to have a multicolored A plate, polycaps, character plate, gray, black, seals, 2 plates of gray, dark gray, red, more gray, and 2 clear white parts, which are going to provide the action base for it, a Stargazer ad, and the instruction manual. I've got to say right off the top, this is a top-notch manual, as you'll see from inside, just lots of details, and again, that character focus that Seed and Seed Destiny really had. Showing them off, it doesn't say the name on the cover, but it certainly shows off the characters' faces. Here you've got a color page inside showing you the plates that you just saw, directions, and when you put it together, this is going to be somewhere in between an older 1/100th high grade and a master grade, where the actual paper here, it's not very white because you are going to have a lot of details. Lots of character art here for Rei Zaburl, including back when he was a very young clone. And here you're going to have some information and some very cool line art for the actual mobile suit. Once you put it all together, fairly straightforward construction. When you get to the back, you're going to have a special additional page. It's going to show how you bend the pizza's back, put them over the shoulders, and then you can just bring the dragoons forward. But this is just going to be what you've seen with any action base. They probably just added this into this instruction manual only. I'd imagine it won't be with any of the other ones. It's got a special thing down there if you're missing parts. And on the back, you're going to have a color guide, which is very well done in English. You have some great details here. It can show you how to ink, line, and do all sorts of cool stuff. And if you want to go add the color wraps, there are only 6 colors, and they're all looking pretty good in practice. On the back, more features with the names of all the weapons listed. So if you want to go memorize those, basically, this guy's just got a lot of long-range firepower. You'll also get a little pamphlet here for Stargazer with a bunch of information, including the all-important gunpla, that you can get the Strike Noir in high grade. The master grade of that would be a lot of fun, but a Stargazer would be even more so. So far from the unbox, what I've seen, I'm pretty happy with pretty much everything, especially that instruction manual. Having a good manual, lots of color, lots of details, lots of extras, it can certainly make just a kit that much more fun to put together. But anyway, so far from what I've seen of the plates, they're all looking good too, but stay tuned for the next part, where I will take a look at all the plates in detail. Remember that this one is going to come with the extra action base, which a regular one might not. But stay tuned, of course, for the parts and the mobile suit, and you can see it compared to the Providence and the Gold Frame Amatsu, the other villains from Gundam Seed and Seed Destiny. Anyway, everybody, Robert184, gunpla.tk. Please let me know what you think of the video with a comment down below, and we'll see you next part. Bye. Look at these guys' backpacks, and look what I've got. A race car spoiler.